Hello kids, I hope you all are doing good. So today we will start with our next block, which is 3D shapes. Now in this module, we will learn properties of 3D shapes. Also, we'll learn to classify 3D shape on the basis of their property. And also we can compare 3D shape on the basis of their properties. And also we'll learn how to draw 3D shapes on a dot paper. So let us start with what we already know about the shapes. We know about the 2D shapes. The 2D shapes are those that can be drawn on the flat surfaces such as paper. It has two measurements, length and breadth. So it is called two-dimensional. The examples are given on the screen. A square, a rectangle, and a circle, and also a triangle. So these are the examples of 2D shape. Now coming to the 3D shapes. So let us come to the 3D shapes. So what are 3D shapes? Well, most objects that we see around us have three measures of size: length, breadth, and height. So solid shapes have three measurements: length, breadth, and height. Length, breadth, and height. So that's the reason why we call a solid shape a 3D shape. These shapes have some features or properties that we can use to compare them and sort them into different groups. Here are the examples of some 3D shapes, that is cuboid, cube, cylinder, sphere, cone, and these all are called 3D shape because they have three dimensions. They have length, they have breadth, and they had height also. So let us learn more about it. So now let us understand what is height, what is width, and what is length. Well, width is also called breadth. So don't get confused between width or breadth, okay? So here's the example of cuboid. You can see the example, the cuboid on your screen. Now, this part is called length. This part is called width or breadth. And this part is called height. So how many dimensions we have? We have three dimensions, that is length, width or breadth I can say, and height. So we have three dimensions. Now let us understand what are faces, edges, and vertices. You can see the cuboid on your screen. Let us count the number of faces. 6 faces are there. And the edges or the corners, you can see the red part, 8 corners are there. And coming to the edges, we have, can you count it? Yes, we have 12 edges. So this is the example of cuboid. Now, so we can say that in a cuboid, we have face, we have corners, and we have edges, right? Okay, so in a cuboid, we have 6 faces, 12 edges, and 8 corners. Similarly, different 3D shapes have different number of faces, different number of edges, and different number of corners. So all the 3D shapes have sides or faces. Some have flat faces which help them slide, and some have curved faces which help them roll. So the examples of different cuboids are given in the screen. Coming to the properties of 3D shapes. Now, we have different properties for different 3D shapes. Given on the screen are the examples of different 3D shapes. So let us understand the properties of these 3D shapes one by one. So coming to the cylinder first, we have 3 faces, the two circular face and one curved face. Also, we have two edges and 0 corners. Now, coming to the next shape is the sphere. So, in a sphere, we don't have any corner, we don't have any edges, only we have one face. Okay? Now, coming to the next shape is a cube. So, in a cube, we have 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and the back one 6. So, we have 6 faces. We have 12 edges and we have 8 corners. Similarly, in a cuboid also, we have 6 faces, 12 edges and 8 corners. So now coming to the next is the homework part. So you know the properties of 3D shape now, so you can easily do this S1 worksheet, and if you feel any doubt while solving this, then see you in the next session. Okay, now coming to the second lesson is classifying 3D shapes. So we can classify different 3D shapes. We can classify or sort 3D shapes into groups as per their properties. For example, we can group together 3D shapes that have flat faces, which help them slide. Similarly, we can group together 3D shapes that have curved faces, which help them roll. Now, examples are different examples of curved faces and flat faces are there on your screen. So let us see this example one by one. First is the example of a can. Now, as you can see this can, the can roll. It is not having any flat surface, but it is having a curved surface, so it can roll. Okay, what else can roll? The hat. Yes, the party hat. This party hat is not having any flat surface but a curved surface. So this party hat can roll instead of sliding. Coming to the next is the example of ball. Now we know that a ball is a sphere where we don't have any corners and we don't have any edges. We just have one face, that's to curved face. Okay, so if we are having curved face, it means the ball can roll and it cannot slide. Coming to the next example is a dice. Okay, we use dice, we play with the dice, right? Now dice is an example of cube having 6 faces, 12 edges and 8 corners, and all the faces are flat faces. So I can say that dice can slide and cannot roll, right? And coming to the last example here on the screen is an eraser. Now what do you think? Eraser is having a flat shape, a flat face or a curved face? Yes, it is having a flat face. So we can just slide the eraser and we cannot roll it. So all the faces, all the shapes which have flat face, we can slide them easily, and those who are having curved face, we can roll them easily, right? Let us come to this chart where you just have to take according to their properties. So what is given there on the screen is dice, ball, party hat, can, eraser. So the first column is have flat faces. So you can easily tell that which of the examples are having flat faces. Dice, yes, dice is having flat face, so I can put a tick here. Then dice is having have edges also, yes, so I can put here. And corners also, the dice is having. Dice is a cube in shape, and it has six faces, 12 edges, and 8 corners. So yes, we have corners in a dice also. So coming to the next example is a ball. Now ball is spherical in shape. So we know that in any spherical shape, we just have one curved face, right? And we don't have any flat face, we don't have edges, and we don't have corners. Coming to the next is a party hat. Now in a party hat, we have one flat surface. In a party hat like this, we have one flat surface, which is the circle face, right? And also we have curved faces. We have curved faces. In a triangle, you can see now we have curved faces. Coming to the edges, yes, we have edges also. And corners, yes, we have corners also. The one corner you can see at the top. Coming to the next example is the can. Now in the can, we have flat face also. Can is in which shape? Yes, it is cylindrical in shape. So we have flat faces. We have flat face in can. We have curved face also. We have edges also. But we don't have any corner in a cylinder. Now coming to the last example is the eraser. So in eraser, we have flat surfaces. We don't have any curved surface in an eraser. We have edges and we have corners also. So I hope this is clear now. So if this is clear, and so you can easily do your next worksheet, which is S2. So just try this, and if you face any problem, we'll try to solve this in the next session. Okay, now the third lesson is comparing properties. Now how we can compare the properties? The number of faces, edges, and corners are some properties that we can use to compare 3D shapes. Two 3D shapes can have the same number of faces, edges, and corners like cube and cuboid, right? But they may look different because of the shapes of their faces are different. For example, cube and cuboid. In a cube, we have 6 faces, 8 corners, and 12 edges. And in the cuboid also, we have 6 faces, 8 corners, and 12 edges. Now the question arises, how are these two shapes alike? Well, look at these two shapes carefully. They have the same number of faces, edges, and corner, but they look different. A cube has, let me just erase it. Okay, now a cube has equal square faces. Equal square faces. You can see one face. Let me change the color of the pen. You can see the face. The face is square in shape, whereas in a cuboid we have rectangular face. We have rectangular face, and only the opposite faces in cuboid are equal, right? So we can conclude this that a cube has equal square faces and a cuboid has rectangular faces, and the opposite faces are equal. So I hope this property is clear, that how a cube and a cuboid, these two are alike. These two shapes are alike, right? So if this is clear, then S3 you can easily do. And if you face any problem in this, then surely I will take it in the next session, the live session. Okay, so now coming to the next lesson is drawing 3D shapes. Now how we can draw 3D shapes on a dot paper? Well, for drawing any 3D shape on a dot paper, we need to follow some steps. So let us follow the steps and let us try to make a shape, a 3D shape. Okay. So now I'll be making a cuboid. So we know that a cuboid has rectangular faces, right? And only the opposite faces are equal. So our first step will be to draw a rectangle. To draw a rectangle. So I can easily draw a rectangle. Okay. Let me change the pen. Sorry. Okay. So can easily draw okay, now I'm drawing a rectangle here. Another rectangle also I can draw. Now, the first step is to draw a rectangle. Second step is to draw another rectangle above or below the first rectangle. So you can see I have drawn here two different rectangles, right? And now the third and the final step will be to join the corners of the two rectangles. So let us join. So I can join these two corners, these two corners, these two corners, and these two corners. So the shape that we have now on our screen is a cuboid. So I hope this is clear that how we can use and how we can draw 3D shapes on flat surface like a dot paper. And for this we need to know the numbers of faces, number of corners, and the edges of the shape. This means that we have to know the properties of the 3D shapes if you want to draw any 3D shape on a dot paper. So I hope this is clear now. Let us come to the final worksheet, which is S4. So you can just try the S4. Again, using using dot paper, you have to draw different 3D shapes on the dot paper. So all the best, and if you have any problem, we'll catch you in the live session.